Thank you for joining into Your News Arizona. I'm Jonathan Alexander reporting. First of all, I'd like to say, in remembrance of Pearl Harbor today, I hope you guys are all um, remembering the great sacrifice those soldiers gave on that day. We lost thousands. Today, I want to cover as well about Pete Hegseth. I think I'm saying that right. The way the Democrats are going after him, they're attacking him to no end. They're wanting him charged for war crimes right now. Um, I think what's going on is the Democrats are feeling so much heat that they are now going after um, anybody and everybody. That's my opinion on this matter. That's what I'm seeing. I'm going to play a little footage for you guys today, and this is on the attacks that they've been doing, and Donald Trump and Hegseth defending themselves.
My next meeting. A couple of hours later, I learned that that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do, and by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat. He sunk the boat, and eliminated the threat. And it was the right call. We have his back, and the American people are safer because narco-terrorists know.
Our best deal of the year is here. Get Rosetta Stone for over
Well,
60% off.
get past the commercial first. Sorry about that, guys.
You'll unlock all of Rosetta Stone's language courses, no renewal fees. Save now at rosettastone.com.
Criminals of today aren't the guys waiting to stick you up when you leave the ATM. They're doing it without any physical presence.
We're seeing a lot of extortion.
Investment scams.
They can impersonate you.
They have a voice cloned daughter.
Our best deal of the year is here. Get Rosetta Stone.
Well, evidently they don't want me sharing that broadcast with you guys, so I'll try to share this other one for you.
New details are emerging about that first alleged drug boat strike that the U.S. conducted in the Caribbean in September.
Navy Admiral Frank Bradley is denying that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave orders to kill all the passengers on board that day. This is in reference to a November Washington Post article which had reported, quote, as two men clung to a stricken burning ship targeted by SEAL Team 6, the Joint Special Operations Commander followed the Defense Secretary's order to leave no survivors, end quote. On Thursday, the Senate Committee on Intelligence held a classified briefing with both Bradley and the Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair General Dan Kane, both GOP Senator Tom Cotton and the chair of that committee, and Democratic Congressman Jim Hines affirmed that Bradley's testimony said Hegseth gave no such order. Here's more of what Cotton had to say about the strikes.
The second strike and the third and the fourth strike on September 2nd were entirely lawful and needful, and they were exactly what we'd expect our military commanders to do.
What exactly did you see in terms of the video of the second strike? Were there survivors?
I saw two survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs down for the United States, back over, so they could stay in the fight.
Democratic Senator Chris Coons, however, had a much different perspective. Let's take a look.
But I have more policy questions than ever about the framing of the mission, the rules of engagement. I'm not going to get into the details, but there were some things that I was briefed on that are reassuring about process, about intelligence, about the role of the JAGs. But more broadly, what we are asking the men and women of our armed forces, and in particularly special forces, to do, I think still lacks clear justification.
Meanwhile, a recent Inspector General report surrounding Signalgate was highly critical of Hegseth. The report found that the Defense Secretary violated department policy by using the Signal app on his own phone to discuss upcoming Houthi strikes, and that he jeopardized troop safety. In a statement, the Defense Department responded, quote, the Inspector General review is a total exoneration of Secretary Hegseth and provides what we knew all along. No classified information was shared. This matter is resolved and the case is closed, end quote. Let's take the first story first, shall we? Want to talk about this Washington Post report? Because obviously...
So yeah, we can take the first story first, guys. So right here, here we got the Democrats, they flat out allowed an invasion on our borders, which is treasonous. They allowed thousands of Americans to get murdered. They're supporting all about the Abortion Act, everything in the book, where they're murdering babies, the whole 9 yards, and they wonder why we've got a problem with this. And they're more worried about these terrorists than what they're worried about the American people. That's what it comes down to. And this is where these people are at. Just like Mark Kelly, you look at what he's done, where, what he did was treasonous, where he's sitting there telling our military forces to not obey Donald Trump's orders, that they're unlawful, blah, 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 him, those 6 senators or whatever. This is the kind of crap that we are dealing with here in America. This is what, and right now they are doing everything to take the distraction, to distract us from what's really going on and what they've been doing and getting away with for so long. We need to put a stop to this, folks. And right now, these courts need to hold these people accountable. I hope the military court of law goes after Mark Kelly. I don't know if they can actually go after these other ones, but being that Mark Kelly was a commander, I know for a fact they can go after him. And, and there's Mr. Kelly playing stupid every day. Like, I was just trying to inform them that, they don't have to follow unlawful orders that they are to go against it, blah, blah, blah. Again, we've covered this many times. When has our president ever given an unlawful order? And as far as what Hegseth, what he's been doing, I applaud the man. You've got the cartels, you've got these criminal organizations that are trying to bring all this fentanyl into our country, everything in the book, where it's going to kill tens of thousands of Americans. And these Democrats are upset because they blew up a little boat with a bunch of drugs and terrorists. I've got a problem with this, and this is what I'm seeing, and been following all these stories out there, people's different controversy about it. You know what? I'm a kind of person, when it comes to your enemy, I'm just going to say it. You wipe them out. I agree. You don't leave survivors when it comes to foreign enemy trying to kill American people. Um, that's where, as far as I'm concerned, you, you take them off the face of this earth. I'm just going to say it. And Facebook, once again, they keep interfering with my videos for you guys right in the middle of my broadcast the other day, um, where we had Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. Right when I started talking about Mark Kelly, Facebook ended my video. And I know it was Facebook that did it because of the fact I was streaming also on Rumble and YouTube, and other platforms. No other video footages got cut besides Facebook. So, Mr. Zuckerberg, my attorney is going to be giving you a visit real soon. I know exactly what you're up to. You keep tampering with my Facebook, with my live broadcast. And you know what? As media, I'm allowed to share the real news. So you, buddy, I'm coming after you next. That I promise you. But either way, so let's get back to the real topics right now. Screw Zuckerberg. The point is, these Democrats are treasonous. What they have done to this country was treasonous. You know, and again, Mark Kelly wants to carry on about how Donald Trump's been giving unlawful orders, blah, blah, blah. How about what Mark Kelly, the Biden administration, and all those guys did telling our Border Patrol to allow a foreign invasion, for them to just take these guys in and assist with an invasion, transporting them over to the airports, whatever, getting them all around America, even funding these terrorists with cash aid, medical, housing. I mean, you want to talk about treasonous acts, Mr. Kelly? You can kiss my ass. That's where I'm at today. So it's just a matter of, we've got so much crap going on here in this country, and everything our president has been trying to get accomplished and is doing, he's meeting resistance. They're going after him, and now they're going after Hegseth, or however you pronounce his last name. Sorry, guys, um, Pete. But either way, if anybody's here to protect America, trying to get America on the right track, trying to end this invasion on our borders, invasion with these drugs pouring through our borders, you know, and to see what these Democrats are doing to try to allow this crap to happen, that tells me right there, folks, these Democrats have they're getting paid. Somebody's paying these guys, whether it's the cartels, whether it's the other corrupt countries involved. In my opinion, somebody's paying these guys. Why else would you try to stop these guys from doing their job, wiping out these cartels, wiping out their boats that they're trafficking this stuff in? Why would you try to stop our government from putting an end to that unless you're part of the problem? That's the way I see it. And you couldn't even begin to talk me out of it. That's exactly the way I see it. Yeah, and you Democrats are corrupt SOBs, just like uh, Adelita Grajava the other day. She's out there riding with these riders down there in Arizona here, getting involved, getting in the way of our ICE agents from doing their job when they're raiding multiple establishments. And several restaurants got raided at the same time. And there's your newly elected Congress lady, Adelita Grajava, intervening on it, getting in the way of our officials doing their job. As far as I'm concerned, they need to lock her up and knock her the hell out of Congress. Put Daniel Gutierrez in there. He can take her place. he should have won that election anyway, as far as I'm concerned. But either way, we just got all this corruption that we're dealing with in this country. I am personally fed up with it, guys, and I want to see action. I want to see people getting involved, people blowing up their phone lines, blow up these congressmen's phone lines, Um, reach out to Adelita Grajava and let her know your thoughts on her and her of what she did down here in Arizona. And again, that's your newly elected Congress lady that won that special election after her dad died. And then her, Daniel Gutierrez, had that special election. She's the one now running Arizona. And now she's pushing for these illegals to be allowed to stay in Arizona. She's pushing for the free housing, free SNAP benefits. She wants free medical for these guys. And again, that woman wants to destroy Arizona just like her father did for over 30 years. That's exactly her mission now. And that's exactly what I see. And these are the kind of people, folks. That's why we've got to be able to get out there and vote. Our voices do matter. And again, we didn't even have 20% of the Republican Party vote in that special election, because if they would have gotten out, at least even 50% of the Republican Party would have went out and voted in that special election a couple months back. We wouldn't be dealing with Adelita Grajava. We'd be dealing with Daniel Gutierrez, who wants to put an end to what's going on our borders and everything else, trying to protect our country. And, people just sat back in la la land. That's the only thing I can say. And then they cry about where the state of Arizona's at now, and how Adelita Grajava is nothing but wanting to destroy our state. Well, no shit, folks. We know that's what she wants to do. So why didn't you folks get out and vote? That's my question. Either way, I know I'm on a roar again today, but there's just all this crap that keeps coming out more and more, and I'm not seeing people really get involved in this matter. And I'd like to start seeing people get out there. When these protesters are out there, get right there and protest yourself right back against them and what they're doing. Mike Brandt, Guns Unlimited, firearm instructor out of California. He's been out there in California. He's the only Republican out there fighting and getting the word out there. Where's the people in California working with Mike? Same thing up here in Kingman, Arizona. These No Kings events, like I've said in the past, I've been down there reporting on them. Where were all the Republicans? Where were they standing up for our president? Again, I guess everybody can just sit back and relax, lay there in la la land until the Democrats retake control, because everybody is so relaxed about what Trump is doing. Nobody is paying attention to what these Democrats really are doing. And I'll tell you what, with that kind of attitude, folks, these Democrats will take power again, and they're going to undo every last thing Donald Trump has done. That's what I see that is going to happen. And I'm going to play one more footage with you guys, and this is on all the crap that's been going on. So let's see if I can get to that for you guys.
A massive fraud scandal unfolding in Minnesota, turning into a wake-up call on America's broken welfare system. As more details come to light about scams that bilk taxpayers out of what could be more than $1 billion. Yes, they sound like Dr. Evil. It's $1 billion. Welcome to a new hour of America Reports. I'm John Roberts in Washington. That's real money, Sandra.
That is real money. Good to be with you on this Friday, John. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. So one startling example sticking out concerns a program to help recovering addicts find stable housing. Initial estimates for the housing program was for just under $3 million annually. But an indictment shows grifters fraudulently billed Medicaid more than $100 million last year alone. Garrett Tenney is live on this out of Chicago for us. What do you have, Garrett?
Well, Sandra, several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have told state lawmakers that by the time these investigations are through, they believe the actual size of this fraud, the amount of taxpayer dollars that has been stolen, could be higher than $8 billion. We are already seeing some of that. 2 days into the Small Business Administration's investigation, Secretary Kelly Loeffler says the agency has uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud. And the state itself is now looking into the possibility of fraud in another Medicaid program. Minnesota's Department of Human Services is now pausing the issuing of new licenses for disability service providers over concerns of fraud after an explosion in the number of applications for new licenses over.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Isn't that Tim Walt's state? I think he's a big part of this.
For the past 5 years, going up 283%, while the number of people needing those services only increased by 25%. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch, but he says they have investigated every claim of fraud that's come in, something whistleblowers dispute, and says the state is taking the steps it needs to keep it from happening again.
We've acknowledged that this is serious, needs to stop. It is stopping people continuing to go to prison. I think the good news for Minnesotans to know when that 90-day pause is over and the third-party audits are done, we will have a better picture than we've ever had, which I think is really good.
We'll have a better picture.
While
We're
all
going
of
to
these
throw all the money in our
investigations are getting
safe.
underway, Republican lawmakers are sounding the alarm about Minnesota's new paid leave program launching next month that allows anyone in the state, regardless of their citizenship status, to take 12 weeks of paid leave a year paid for by the state. GOP lawmakers say the program is ripe for abuse.
It was written so broadly that you can take advantage of it and abuse it, and no one's going to come looking for you. The taxpayers put in a bunch of money to launch the whole thing. So
yeah, Tim Walz
this is
says,
going
thanks
to
for a
be,
Merry Christmas, taxpayers.
The next horrible thing coming out of Minnesota.
And it's important to remember the FBI is also still investigating the massive fraud schemes there. This morning, Attorney General Pam Bondi said there are going to be a lot more arrests on this coming. Sandra?
Okay.
Well, how about arresting Tim Walz? There you go. That's what I say. Throw his ass in jail, too, along with all these other corrupt SOBs. Again, you know, this is why they're attacking Pete Sesworth, or Hegsworth. That's how you pronounce it. Sorry, guys. You know, that's why they're going after him and other people right now, trying to go after anybody and everybody, because right now they are so under fire with all the corruption in the Democrat Party, and they're being exposed left and right. So they're lashing out right now. Now, can you guys imagine for 1 second the Democrats getting back in control, how much they're actually going to go after all the Republicans for their attacks on them right now? But it's not that the Republicans don't have a justifiable attack. I mean, what they're doing right now in the way they're going after them should have been done a long time ago. But, you know, we the people, I think we're all kind of used to them just sweeping all this under the rug. They don't really, but, you know, every time we turn around, we keep hearing, oh, there's going to be mass arrest. And, you know, we never see any arrest. So, again, you know, I really hope this time around with Donald Trump in power, Kash Patel in power, these guys, I hope they start making these arrests, getting these people put away where they belong. Let them go spend their Christmas in a jail cell. Better yet, lock them away in prison permanently. This is where we're at. Same thing with Grahava's, Adelita Grahava. I think she ought to be spending Christmas behind bars for interfering on a federal raid. You know, that woman should be in prison for what she did. She had no right as a congressperson representing Arizona to be intervening on an ICE raid. So lock her up, folks. Get her done. And you know, and I think my question to the sheriffs of Arizona, you know, you guys are the law of the land. The last time I knew, why are you guys not stepping in as well and going in and making an arrest? You guys do have that power, you know. Why don't you look into it? Look it up in the Constitution and everything else. I would like to think you guys know the Constitution. I shouldn't have to preach it to a sheriff. But why don't you guys actually get involved? Work with these ICE agents and Border Patrol and our federal government right now. And when you see these Congress people out breaking the law themselves, why don't you guys step in and just go arrest them? You guys do have the power, but either way, I shouldn't have to tell you guys how to do your damn job either. But again, as far as I'm concerned, our government hasn't done the job for the American people in a lot of years. Um, Again, they keep sweeping it under the rug. If this was you or I that was out protesting and getting in the way of ICE agents, I guarantee you we'd be sitting behind bars. So why would they allow Adelita Grahava to do that? And and then here we got Rand Paul, who's actually siding with the Democrats and thinks Pete Hegseth should be investigated. He's calling for it. And this is our Republican, supposed to be Republican. I'm going to call him. Personally, I think Rand Paul is a rhino. I'm just going to say it like it is. I don't like the guy. I think he likes to stir a lot of shit up. And my question for Rand Paul: why would you not want to protect our borders? Why would you not want to protect our seas where they're trafficking drugs and everything in the book right into our country? Why would you want tens of thousands of Americans dying from the fentanyl and the drugs these people are trafficking into our country? Why would you not want Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and these officials, and our commanders to wipe these son of a bitches out? That's my question for you as a senator. I will go after you as well. Or Congress, whatever you are. I don't even pay attention to you. But either way, the point is, I woke up when I started seeing you going against, us trying to stop the drug flow coming into America. I'll call you out every day of the week too. So, anyways, I just wanted to just a quick reminder for those of you guys that are pretty young out there that's been following me. Today is Pearl Harbor Day in remembrance of Pearl Harbor. Believe it or not, I've actually talked to some young people that didn't even know it was Pearl Harbor Day. So it just kind of blows me away how history is slowly but surely being erased. So if you guys have any questions or comments on my reporting today, you can call into my studio, 928-385-4738. You guys are welcome to voice your opinions and comments. And if you guys want to message me, you can send me messages through yournewsarizona@gmail.com. So I'm just going to kind of browse through here real quick, make sure I don't have any comments, and then we'll take it from there. And let's see. Hi, Kathy. Appreciate you joining in today to our broadcast. Squaw White, appreciate you being here as well. And if you guys can just like and share this, get it out there to everybody that you know. We're just focusing on exposing all the corruption and getting it out there. And again, folks, I will call out our Republicans just as much as I'll call out the Democrats. If they're doing wrong, they're doing wrong. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you're corrupt, I'm going to expose you. That I promise you. That's the way it should be, folks. That's what we call real news, not fake news. But either way, again, Rand Paul, I'm very disappointed in you, especially for you to be going against our commander-in-chief, going against putting a stop to this drug trafficking. Where you've got a problem with these guys wiping these cartels out, I've got a problem with you now, Senator, or whatever you are. But either way, it's just the amount of crap that we are having to deal with as American people. Again, this isn't about me anymore, folks. This is about my children, your children, our grandkids. This is about the future of this country. And the future of this country, the way I see it right now, if this is ever gets under Democratic power again, I think this country's done. And I'm just going to say it. I think it's going to be finished. You just look at how much corruption and how these guys just get away with murder constantly because we don't have a government that has a set of balls. I'm just going to say it to get the job done. For whatever reasons, they keep giving these guys a get out of jail free card or whatever. That's the way I see it. Because again, they've got enough to hang every one of these SOBs, and I'm not seeing mass arrests. They keep saying there's going to be mass arrests. Even that last report said it. Bondi's saying there's going to be mass arrests, but when? That's my question. Been hearing it for years. Oh yeah, there's going to be mass arrest. So um, so for you guys that are kind of fed up with hearing it, like I'm fed up with hearing it, feel free to voice your opinions as well. Again, this should be all about God, family, and country, not about allowing an invasion on our borders, not about allowing these cartels to traffic drugs into our country to kill tens of thousands of Americans. This shouldn't be, this should be about wiping those son of a bitches out. Same thing with the cartel. And for you cartel thugs out there that's been following me, you can kiss my ass as well. I'm not afraid of you. I don't give a shit what you think of me. And I realize I'm probably on your hit list as well. But quite frankly, I just don't give a damn. Because you know what? I've actually been looking for you guys too. I've been looking for you so I can cover my stories on you guys. And when I'm down on the border reporting, and you guys make your little threats to me, but you refuse to come up to the border wall to have a little conversation with me, tells me right there, you guys are nothing but just a bunch of thugs talking the talk. And I'll just call you out. And I'm used to death threats, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But either way, sorry, I'm a little raspy today, guys. Again, this should be all about God, family, and country for every one of you guys out there here in America, and all you patriots. I want people to please start getting involved. I am looking for a security team to help work with me down on the border. We got the upcoming border trip here, so we're going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, December 18th through the 21st. Then we're going to take a tour over to the border, taking some senators with me, and possibly a couple Congress people are joining in. And anybody else that would like to join in, you're welcome to give me a call, 928-385-4738. We're going to give you guys a tour that you probably will never forget. And kind of like Phil Lyman said on a couple broadcasts back, what he thought was just going to be a simple border tour turned out to be pretty much like a nightmare. And he's right. That's what we deal with every time we're down on the borders. But either way, if you guys want to be a part of the team, give me a call. I'm also looking for someone to help work with me in the news studio, to help run cameras, to help keep switching my videos for me. That way I'm not doing that like I keep saying. And I'm kind of be nice. I'm actually looking for a remote control to operate this where I can just push a button. That'd be great. I've got to figure out how to set it up in my studio. But either way, it would be nice to have someone working with me to help share a lot of this stuff. So, and then I've got Julie D in the morning with me. She does a lot of work with me as well, and she's a great asset to Your News Arizona. I hope you guys enjoy her being on my show with me in the mornings. And then we're going to be broadcasting live on Q Broadcast. So we'll be out there on television for you guys. So again, you guys are welcome to check out Q Broadcast, Unlimited Television, $59.99 a month. They decided to run their promo for a few extra days. Had so many people joining in. So you guys can check out Q Broadcast, all your local channels, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, pay-per-views, NFL packages. If you guys still watch NFL, any of you guys, I personally don't. But then they have all the sports packages. Plus all your local channels, and also your Hallmark channels. I mean, you name it, Disney, whatever you guys watch, it's on there. It's way better than satellite television. And again, that's through Q Broadcast. It's $59.99 a month. If you guys, I'll put the code up here in the left-hand corner right there. You guys can scan that if you want to check it out. They don't lock you into some stupid contract. It's month to month. And if you decide you don't like it after 30 days, just cancel. But for those of you guys that are signing up, just a reminder, for those of you that do sign up right now, it's that you will be locked into for life at that price. It can never increase on you. That's Q Broadcast's promise to you guys. So just an outstanding way to get it out there. Let me see if I can figure out a way to share that over to maybe the other corner of the screen. Here we go. There. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. So anyways, now it's over here on the right-hand side of your screen. But anyway, you guys can check out Q Broadcast if you choose to. And I know the bar owners are loving it because they can broadcast five different TVs from there. They allow you 5 TVs, folks, for $59.99 a month. So you're allowed to have 5 TVs on your account, to where if you got family out in another state, just give them your username and password, and they can watch TV if you want to share your television with them. So anyways, enough about that today. I also like to promote my friend Stephen Thomas out there, Loaded Gun Coffee. He's out of Lake Havasu, Arizona, the best coffee out there. He's also got a great store. You guys can check it out. And if you scan the QR code, it's a better-known company. And he's got quite the history. So, and if you guys add the promo code that's on there, Your News AZJTA, I think is what it is. I don't have my glasses on right now, but it's on that right there. Loaded Gun Coffee donates a small portion of each sale to Your News Arizona. So appreciate your support, Steve. So anyways, back with some news, guys. Enough advertisement for the day. Again, we've got so much crap constantly going on in this country. These Democrats, we've got to find a way to see to it that justice is served. We need these lawmakers out there to start making arrests. And again, for you sheriffs out there, you guys have that power. You guys have that authority. If they are corrupt, if they're breaking the laws, like Adelita Grajava, just go arrest her. You got the right to do that. You're the sheriff of the land, so go arrest her. I'm tired of people talking the talk. Let's see some action, folks. And for our law enforcement out there, let's see some action, folks. I know you guys are fed up with what's been going on here in Arizona. For our Arizona sheriffs and law enforcement community out there, love all you guys. Sadly, we have had a record amount of our law enforcement actually killed in the line of duty this year. I keep broadcasting it on my Facebook, getting it out there, recognizing all the different law enforcement officers every month dying. If you guys don't believe that, go onto my Facebook, Jonathan Townsend Alexander, and check it out. And you can scroll back 30 days and see the amount of law enforcement officers that have died in the line of duty. It's insane, folks. But again, people don't like to talk about it. They don't want to, most of your news channels out there don't want it broadcasted because they know the American people are going to be going, oh my God, what the hell is going on here in our country? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. We've got Democrats running around that's creating havoc on our law enforcement, assaulting our law enforcement. We've got illegals here in this country that are killing our law enforcement as these Democrats don't want them deported out of here. Nobody on that side of the aisle gives a shit about you or I or the safety of this country and our cities. And that's just point blank and clear, folks. That's where it's at. That's the reality. There's no other reality behind it. Besides George Soros, also. That's a big part of the reality. Mr. Soros likes to fund all this corruption. Um, Not to mention, I think a lot of other silent people out there are funding this as well. They like to create this chaos here in our country. That's what I see. They are about tearing this country down, and you know I don't want to be remembered by my grandkids or my son as being a person that did not fight for this country. I want, if my grandkids ask me someday down the road, Grandpa, what did you do for this country? And I can honestly tell my grandkids, you know what, your grandpa was down there on those borders getting information out to America, exposing the corruption, and trying to see to it that justice was served. That's what I can honestly tell my grandkids. What can you folks tell your grandkids? What have you done for this country? Um, what are you doing to try to make things better for America? That's my question to all of you today. Um, Instead of griping about Donald Trump and everything else in the book, that's part of the problem, folks. You're being part of the problem. What are you doing to help benefit this country? What are you doing to make a difference? That's my question. Ask yourself that. You can say screw Alexander for what I'm saying right now. That's fine. But, you know, sit back sometime in a quiet corner, just you, God, put it in prayer, and ask yourself, what have you truly done for this country besides jump on a keyboard and create a bunch of disruption yourself? Talk down, trash talking about our president and whatever else you guys want to do right now. Because I'm seeing a lot of trash talk about our president as well. Um, so my trash talk to all of you is, what are you doing to make a difference? You want to beat up on our president? Well, I'm going to beat up on you. What are you doing? You know, I don't see you down on the borders with me and my team. I don't see you guys at these No Kings events with me and my team. I don't see you guys sitting there trying to get, like the election integrity Steve Stern just covered a couple of days ago for you guys, where I broadcasted the 2 hour show with you guys, which we got another one, by the way, coming up on the 17th. We'll be broadcasting live for you from Steve Stern. He wants me to cover that as well. So my question is, what are you guys doing? Are you guys sharing this stuff out there when we're broadcasting this stuff? Are you making the American people aware of what's happening on our borders, or the election integrity, or the No Kings events that we attend, or whatever else where we're exposing the corruption? Are you guys even sharing our footage? I got 26,000 followers on my Facebook, and my question is, what are you doing to get it out there to America? Um, I'm doing my job, folks. I'm getting it out there to America. So what are you guys doing? So, that's the $1 million question. So, again, become part of the solution. And I'm not even saying jump on board with me. How about jump on board for this country? Jump on board and try to make a difference for this country, because this country right now needs you. So, you remember that old sign back in the day where it said, I want you for the U.S. Army. Well, guess what? I want you to spread the truth and to help us. Um, help this country, folks. It's that simple. You again, you guys, if you're going to call yourself a patriot, then be a patriot, and be a patriot with honor, and get out there and do what you can while you're on this earth to make a difference. Because this should be about your children as well, for all of you guys. This should be about your children and your grandchildren. Is this the country you want for your children and grandchildren? Ask yourself that as well. Um, you know, do you think sitting behind a keyboard blasting our president is going to help your children in the end? It's going to help your wife, your you know um, anybody that you know. You think that's really going to help people? I mean, ask yourself that, folks. So again, my question to you is, what are you doing for this country besides sitting behind a keyboard? Are you getting involved with your Republican groups out there? Are you getting involved with your election integrity groups out there that's trying to put a stop to these fraudulent elections? Are you guys getting involved? Or are you just talking the talk all the time? Again, Daniel Gutierrez, look at him. He ran for Congress, special election. What did you guys do out here in Arizona to help Mr. Gutierrez win his election besides not show up and vote? But you talk a good talk. You trash talk everybody here that's trying to be a part of the solution. But and it's like, why are you guys even trash talking us? How about you guys be a part of this solution? How about quit being a part of the problem? That's my message to all you folks out there today, especially the ones that are trying to bash our president. And don't get me wrong, folks. I don't always agree with Donald Trump. I don't have to always like what Donald Trump does. But you know what? He's my president. He's a president that I know is a good Christian man that loves this country, wants our borders secure, wants these illegal thugs out of our country. He wants the drugs out of our country. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, promises were made to us that he was going to get that job done, and promises have been kept. Now, is it 100% to where I would like to see it? Absolutely not. There's like that. Oh, by the way, the No More Death Camp that I kept reporting on, they just got raided. So, good job, Border Patrol. My hat's off to you guys. But either way, this is the kind of stuff, guys. This is what I'm all about. We gotta put the heat and get the news out there to America. And when enough people say, "Hey, why aren't you ICE agents and Border Patrol raiding the No More Death Camp?" When we get enough people putting pressure, it opens people's eyes and ears. They ain't got a choice but to pay attention. This is why we keep putting heat, even on our Border Patrol and Tom Holman. Get those kind of messages out, folks, because you know what? If that helps protect this country and ends the corruption in this country, then why wouldn't you want to be a part of this? Why wouldn't you want to share it and get it out there? And look how many times in the last 30 days alone I kept mentioning about No More Death Camp, blasting it all over YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, other media outlets we broadcasted that on. And now they finally went in and raided some people. And now the No More Death Camp leaders are going, "Oh, that was an unjustifiable raid. They had no right to raid us." You know what? I'll call bullshit where bullshit's at. You guys were harboring fugitives, harboring illegals. And as far as I'm concerned, they should have wiped your camp out. I'm just going to say it. They should have brought in the bulldozers, wiped it out to make sure you guys couldn't bring these cartel thugs into America anymore. But that's that's my thing out there. If somebody gets this message over to Tom Holman by some chance, if he happens to see my broadcast, Mr. Holman, take the bulldozers in there and just wipe it out, level it. And, that's going to end a big part of the human trafficking and drug flow coming through the borders here in Arizona is by wiping that camp totally off the face of the earth. Get it out of here. We don't need it in Arizona, and quite frankly, I've been covering it for a lot of years on that human trafficking camp, and I'd like to see it leveled. So, you guys put a lot of pressure on them to keep going after the No More Death Camp. So, until every one of those SOBs are behind bars for assisting with the foreign invasion themselves, I'm not going to be satisfied. It's that simple. I want to see them locked up. So anyways, hope you guys are all having a blessed Sunday. For those of you that has tuned in to my broadcast today, thank you. Appreciate you guys joining in. God bless you. And I hope you guys will tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 Pacific, for Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. Hope you guys can join our broadcast. And, My promise to you guys is we're going to continue getting this news out there. We're going to continue exposing the corrupt. And I don't care if you're a Republican. If you're corrupt, I'm coming after you. I'm going to expose you. So, and that's called real news, folks. I'm not going to make up bullshit about the Republicans. Rand Paul, by the way, as far as I'm concerned, you can throw his ass out of office, get him out of office. I think he's a part of the problem, not the solution. So I'm very disappointed in you, Rand Paul. And actually used to like the guy, but he's burnt his bridge. So got to make sure I don't have any other comments here going on. Yeah. Kathy says truth. Yeah. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in to our broadcast. Again, you guys check out Q Broadcast, unlimited television, $59.99 a month. I think that special will finally be ending Tuesday or Wednesday of this week for unlimited television for $59.99 a month. If you sign up between now and Tuesday or Wednesday, you're locked into life for that price. And plus, Your News Arizona will be broadcasting live from Q Broadcast as well. We've got our news station on there now, and we'll be getting the broadcast out there to you guys. So I hope you guys can tune into our broadcast. And if not, we'll still be broadcasting on Rumble, YouTube. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to continue broadcasting on Facebook with all the censorship going on. I'm going to try to keep it going. I've got some attorneys that I'm going to get going after. That's going to go after Zuckerberg for interfering with my live broadcast. So you, Mr. Zuckerberg, go ahead and try to shut my account down, do whatever you want, but I'm going to sue your ass for millions. I'm a news reporting agency. I am licensed in the state of Arizona, and for you to interfere with a broadcast, you're violating my rights as a news reporter. So I'm going to come after you, buddy. That I promise you. So go ahead, shut my pages down, do whatever you got to try to do to me, but rest assured, I'm going to sink your ass. It's coming. Anyways, want to get that out there to you before he actually decides to ban my page, which I've got a feeling is probably going to come next. But again, I'll call out corruption when I see it, and you, Mr. Zuckerberg, are corrupt. You only see if I'm ABC or NBC News on here reporting, you're going to allow my footages. Boy, Your News Arizona reports the truth, and that now you come after me. You can kiss my ass. So again, I'm on a roll, guys. I know it's Sunday. I've got to watch my mouth. So my apologies, but either way, I get pretty fired up over this crap, and I'm tired of being censored from Zuckerberg. So, and other than that, again, hope you guys can tune into my broadcast tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end this broadcast. If you guys ever want to be on my show, reach out to me, yournewsarizona@gmail.com, or call into my studio, schedule an appointment, 928-385-4738. Would love to bring you guys on the air, hear your thoughts and opinions as well. But love to have you guys get more involved with what we're doing as well. And again, guys, I don't want to be Mr. Popularity on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, whatever. I want to be able to get the truth out. That's all I want. And if you guys can please follow, share my broadcast, start getting the truth out to the American people, I would appreciate it. So, again, I made a good example the other day. There was a guy on Facebook, he's constantly on there, where he says, build that wall, build that wall. Some guy down on the border that's always doing that, and he gets like a million views. But then somebody's broadcasting live footage on the border of the cartel coming through our borders, or whatever else that we are broadcasting to you down there. I'm lucky to get 100 people on there. I'm lucky to get 10 shares. But this guy, he says build that wall, and boy, he can get, a million shares, whatever. Not that I'm against building the wall. I love the fact, they keep getting the wall more in place. But, how about sharing the real truth, showing people what's happening as well, besides building the wall. So, other than that, guys, God bless you guys. Again, this is remembrance of Pearl Harbor as well. As in remembrance, I'm going to say, for all of our fallen law enforcement, I am remembering today as well, not just Pearl Harbor. Just the amount of law enforcement officers we've lost in the last 30 days is unbelievable. And hold on one second. Your News, Arizona.
Hello.
Find another number to call. Anyways, lost my chain of thought. Sorry about that. Anyways, we're just going to continue to get the truth out there to you guys, and we're going to continue our broadcast. It doesn't matter whether I've got 10 shares or a million shares. It's not going to stop me from broadcasting. And I still do my job. I'm serving this country in a way that I'm putting my life in harm's way when I'm on the borders reporting to you guys. My team puts their lives in harm's way by being down there with me on the border. Quite frankly, I'm surprised I'm still breathing. We've had some pretty close encounters, but it doesn't stop us from going down and reporting. And I'm going to continue to report it. I'm going to continue to report the truth to you guys. And again, I'm all about exposing the corruption in this country. So, all right, guys, God bless you. Hope you guys join in tomorrow. Again, Jonathan, Julie D in the morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 Pacific. Hope you guys can tune in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.